Hello and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 tips for beginner songwriters. If you've learnt to play an instrument over this past year and now you want to write your own songs, I think this video is the perfect way to start. So make sure you watch right till the end to get every bit of information you can. Let's get started. My name is Jonathan, I'm a part-time songwriter and music producer. My channel is dedicated to helping you become a better songwriter and music producer by providing practical ways for you to increase the quality of the music that you release. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. Now, back to the songwriting. Okay, so tip number 1 is start with the title. This is my favourite way to start off a song, and I think that because, when you're a beginner you don't have a lot of experience doing songwriting, and so if you have a title to sort of get going from, it can really help and it can really give you some good direction, particularly if it's a strong title. I like to keep a page in my songwriting notebook and just sort of fill it full of titles that I think of throughout the day, which hopefully I can then use in my next songwriting session. Now, 90% of what you write on this page during the day might be a load of rubbish, and I know that I've got pages and pages full of titles that I know I'm never ever going to use, but you're not looking for hundreds and hundreds of things to write about. You're just looking for that one thing that you can use to spark ideas and you can use to inspire what will hopefully be a really, really good song. So that's tip number 1, start with the title. So for tip number 2, you don't have to draw on your own experiences. Now, I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't draw on your own experiences, but I know that as a beginner songwriter, it's very easy to fall into the trap of just doing that. Because you became a songwriter in order to write about your own emotions and about the things that you're feeling, right? That's how most people start off. And so, you can fall into the trap of just thinking that you have to write about your own experiences when, nothing could be further from the truth. If anything, I think it's really useful to know how to write in 2 styles, using your own experiences and also using people and characters and emotions that you make up and think of kind of on the spot as you're writing, because I think it gives you sort of the most chance of writing a good song. I think that particularly as beginners, and if you're part-time, you don't do this as like your full-time job, we don't often have a lot of time to write songs during the week. We may only have sort of a few hours, which it's too little time to be sat there not thinking about ideas. And so I sort of think that any way that you can use to generate ideas is going to be really helpful. So yeah, plus as well, I think, to be honest, that writing about other people and about other things and about made up stuff is a lot more fun, because you don't have to be quite as serious because you're not thinking about your own emotions. Just me? But yeah, so that's tip number 2. You don't have to draw on your own experiences. Okay, so tip number 3 is to record everything. Whether that's like a melody that you hear a bird whistling, or whether it's something you hear on, an interesting YouTube video or something that you think might make good lyric or title or whatever, just make sure you record it. Who knows, with a bit of refinement, it could become a really good idea for a new song. You can use loads of different apps to do this, but I think my favourite ones, I've got Android, so I use Google Keep. I think that's really good. And if you're on iOS, just use your Notes app, because both those apps have the option to record from your microphone, and you can jot notes down, so I think it's really important. Again, like with the titles, you probably won't use most of the stuff that you write down, but if you keep it kind of well categorised and ordered, then you might come across something in a later songwriting session where you think, yeah, I'm really glad that I did record that, because it becomes an idea for your next song. So that's tip number 3, and that was record everything. Okay, so tip number 4, and this is quite a simple one, take breaks. So you don't want to compromise the good stuff that you've written by writing something bad when you're tired. I've done that, it's not fun. But you don't want to have like an amazing first verse or chorus written, and then just because you want to carry on, you want to get it finished, you sit there and knock out the rest of the song in 10 minutes and it sounds basically rubbish. When you write a song that doesn't sound good, so what's the point in carrying on if you're tired or if you don't feel motivated to do it? You might as well come back when you've had a bit of a rest, when you've gone and done something else for a bit, and that you're in a bit of a clearer headspace. You need to let your brain rest, because it's quite an emotionally exhausting thing to do, writing songs sometimes. So, like I said, I think it's really important just to take a break every now and again and come back to it when you're feeling a bit more in the mood. Personally, I think that your songs will probably be better if you come back to them a day or two afterwards and continue. So that's tip 4, take breaks. So we are up to tip 5, and I think this is probably the most important tip on this list, and particularly as a beginner, and it is practice and don't be afraid to write bad songs. Okay? I think that in order to get to good songs, you need to write basically a mountain of songs that really aren't very good. You need to wade through that pile of songs that you're never going to play for anyone, you're never going to see again once you've finished writing them and played them a couple of times. I know I've got loads and loads of songs sort of in the documents on my iPad and various places of just basically rubbish that I'm never ever going to look at again. I'm never going to play again because I didn't like them. But the thing is, sometimes you just have to do it, and you have to. The most important thing really is just repeating the process. And if you repeat the process of writing songs enough times, you're going to eventually write something that you're really proud of. It may not happen in your first 10 songs, it probably won't. It probably won't happen in your first 20, but you're going to get to a stage where you're beginning to enjoy the stuff that you're writing. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, that you enjoy the songs that you're writing, because if you don't, then what's the point? What's the point in writing songs if you don't like them? Yeah, like I said, you sort of need to practice a lot, and you need to learn to get better. You need to learn what to do, you need to learn what not to do. And like I said, the only way that you do that is by practicing and by writing an absolute ton of songs. You should be writing now instead of watching this. Okay, maybe not quite, but you know what I'm saying. Just write a lot of songs, and eventually you will definitely reap the rewards for it by being able to write the songs that you really like, the songs that you hear in your head, and you'll be able to learn to write them, and yeah, you'll have a lot of fun doing it. So that was tip number 5. That was practice and don't be afraid to write bad songs, because everyone does it. So that was my 5 beginner songwriting tips. This is what works for me, and I've been using these tips for an awfully long time through my songwriting, and I found they work for me, but you know, they may not work for you, and if they don't, then you've just got to keep going until you find stuff that does, really. If you're watching this video and you've got other tips and ideas that you'd like to share with other people, then please put them in the comments, and hopefully people will read them and people will learn something. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like and even consider subscribing if you want to continue to listen to my weekly ramblings about various things to do with songwriting and music production. And make sure you click on the bell icon so you're notified of when I do upload a new video. If you've got any questions or observations for me, then again, leave them in the comments and I'll definitely make sure that I get back to you. Finally, if you're into indie folk music, then feel free to check out the songs that I have written and that I self-produced on Spotify, and to follow me on Instagram, because that's where I tend to post a lot of stuff about my songwriting. The links to both of those are in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.